Hey guys, Raven McKay here, and I'm starting a new series. It's called TF2 Starter Weapons. This is going to be a series where I give the easiest weapons to use for each individual class in Team Fortress 2. However, that does not mean that these weapons I could consider new weapons, with some exceptions, but I'll tell you when we get there. These weapons are just weapons that are easy for new players to use, and are probably the best if you want to master a class or you want to learn how to do something specific in Team Fortress 2. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat that coming up with this list was really an interesting process for me because I've never done like these pre-recorded videos and then like talked over them. Like this is something completely new for me, so we'll see how this goes. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let's start the video. The weapon I have equipped for his scattergun is the Force of Nature, or in my case, Mr. Boom Boom. If we compare that to what I have go around with normally, I use just a reskin of the stock. In my opinion, the Scout Scattergun is by far his most important weapon. Without it, the Scout would be a lot more dead. Honestly, there shouldn't really be a lot of other weapons he uses other than the Scattergun in main combat. The pistol that you get with the stock Scout should just be used in emergency situations only. To defend or to shoot out sentries. Because sentries, I don't like them. As far as scatterguns go, the Force of Nature is a monster. It may have a reduced damage, but don't let that fool you. You have to remember that it shoots more pellets with every shot. So with every shot, it's actually doing significantly more damage. The other good thing it can be used for is getting a third jump. I'm unfortunately not very good at this, so there's not really that much footage of it, but it's a thing that you can do. With one or two good placed meat shots, you can kill some of the most powerful classes in the game, including heavies. The great downside of this weapon is it only has 2 shots in the barrel. However, if used wisely, this weapon can turn the tide of any battle in anyone's favor. However, even though this weapon may necessarily have a steep learning curve, that does not mean it's hard to use. It's not as difficult as you think. It's really just walk up and you pull the trigger and you're dead. Now, if we go to the second weapon in the Scout's starter arsenal, we have Bonk Atomic Punch. If we compare that to what I usually use in mine, I use just a reskin of the stock once again. Now, the thing about Bonk Atomic Punch is it is really great for new players because it allows them to get around those pesky sentries, which will pretty much instantly kill any scout that comes near them. The downside to it is it doesn't really go with any weapon combination, and it especially doesn't go well with the primary weapon I've chosen. So, as you can guess, I have a really hard time using it in these videos, so I'm kind of going to be looping the same footage. But the great thing about it is it can save you in many situations, so it's really good for players who are new to Team Fortress 2. Allow them to get the hang of the scout and to not get instantly killed. In terms of use as an actual weapon, I personally have a lot of trouble using it, or finding a good use for it, when I could just run around the thing that's in my way, or just choose a different route with the scout speed. And I honestly prefer the pistol for dealing with sentries because you can shoot them, although it's not the best method. That's why I have the stock pistol in my personal loadout. The other big thing you can do with Bonk Atomic Punch is you can kill engineers using their own sentry, which I try to do, but ultimately fail at. But if you ever come across the opportunity, definitely go ahead and do that. So to all you new players out there, Bonk Atomic Punch is a great way to become invincible, but not necessarily a good weapon to use in combat for serious play. for all you competitive players who probably wouldn't be watching this anyways. And the last weapon we'll be going over for the Scout is the Rap Assassin, which is actually the same weapon that I use on my main loadout. Now, the Rap Assassin is a great weapon for me because I don't usually use melee weapons. You'll notice that throughout when I do this series. When you look at more of my loadouts, you'll see that I only really use melee weapons that have a side bonus, like the Soldier's Escape Plan or the Heavy's Gloves of Running Urgently, because I don't usually use melee weapons in combat for combat purposes, unless I'm demo knighting. That's really about it. So why not just use the Sandman? Many people will ask. Well, I don't like the Sandman's health reduction, personally. I think it's really annoying to only be able to take one rocket to the face. You know, having the ability to stun people is great. People at this point in the game are usually pretty accustomed to being stunned, because a lot of scouts usually equip this weapon. However, having bleed on you is really, really annoying, because it's not just one of those you pick up a health kit and you're done sort of things. It's going to last a little while, and it's really annoying, especially since the buff it got in the Tough Break update, where it shatters and can hit more than one person. So yeah, and it doesn't do a whole... Its downside is it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but as I said earlier, I don't really use melee weapons to do damage. I mostly use them for the secondary effects, and having one on a class that's mostly oriented on a close range, I can hit enemies far away at minimal cost, especially because the ball restores really fast, is really great, and definitely great for newer players, because you don't have to deal with the health reduction of the Sandman, and it doesn't really have any other negative effects other than it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think in the comments, and should I do anything like this again, and otherwise I'm going to continue doing the series. See you guys next time, and goodbye!